Why airlines opt for older solutions reagent than newer flight designs? Again to yet another episode of Great Network. Today we'll be discussing why airlines opt for older designs than investing heavily on newer designs, like A350. Basically, it comes down to three words: risk, cost, and complexity. We will factor out anything else because capabilities, capacity, and range and endurance are things that basically an airline can't change anything. They will always go for the aircraft that provides what they need. We will comparing same capacity, same capabilities, same class of aircraft. Mainly, we'll focus on two different generations. Let's say A330 and A350. But of course, great risks bring great profits. That's not the case with the airline industry. The airline industry is a very conservative industry, and they don't like risks. First, let's start with the manufacturing and operational risks. When going to buy a new aircraft, then you decide to invest heavily on an aircraft that most of the cases doesn't exist. It won't be a prototype, it won't be a certification phase. Most of the cases on a new design, you go for the specifications. Just a bunch of words and numbers on a piece of paper. But you don't go for the aircraft. You go for the numbers that they are in the aircraft. The company almost guarantees you that it will deliver to you an aircraft that can do exactly what it says in the papers. But, of course, this is a great risk. An aircraft manufacturer not meeting specified requirements would be the first time happening. But this is something to be expected more or less. But something unexpected is that the aircraft manufacturer might not be able to meet requirements on the production. That's very common. We have many times seen delays in delivery of aircraft due to production problems. Untested manufacturer procedures and risks that have to do with the unreliability of approved technologies is always present. This might also lead to reliability risks. Yes, that's a very common today. A very great example of this is the Boeing 787. Yes, that's the last aircraft that now has been delivered to service and has seen a fair amount of fuel leaks, a very extensive problem with battery fires at ground in the aircraft for 3 months, and we don't know if it's solved yet. Fractured wings that, of course, they were found during the manufacturing phase and they were replaced. And last but not least, complete navigation system failures. In 2 cases, aircraft had to return to an airport or finish their trip to their destination flying VOR to VOR, which in nowadays is completely unheard of. Even Cessnas have GPS assisted navigation. Airbus hasn't fared better either with their latest delivery. Airbus A380 had some very expensive wing modifications in order to facilitate some problems they have found after it was delivered to service. And don't forget the Qantas incident with the uncontained explosion of the engine that crippled the aircraft, and were lucky that the flight crew and passengers landed safely. Other than that, of course, always present is the business risk of an aircraft. These new aircraft always have a long line of customers, meaning they are modern, they are very attractive to passengers, and when you book one of it, you shouldn't expect to get it until the next decade. Having booking an aircraft for that far away in the future means that you encounter a great risk. The risk is that when you get the aircraft might be obsolete by that time, meaning passenger demands change very fast over time. A great example of this is the cancellation of 70 orders, basically all the orders of Emirates for A350 aircraft. Simply, the airline needs changed over the last 6 or 7 years. They made the order in 2007 for the aircraft to be delivered in 2019, and in 2014 the aircraft were already obsolete for them. They switched to a current generation of aircraft like the A380, which cover their needs much more investing heavily on an aircraft that might turn out to be a potato, will undermine heavily the prospects of any airline company. Now, let's go to the second deterring factor, which is the cost. New aircraft, modern, in demand, they have increased capital investment. This type of aircraft, when they are finally delivered, they are followed by an avalanche of additional expenses. Firstly, you have to consider the cost of retraining personnel or hiring new staff and retooling for the particular aircraft. When I say retooling, I mean flight operations will need a training device like a simulator or access to a simulator. Operations department will need data link between the aircraft and the operations department, so they can know at any time where the aircraft is, what is happening to it, and what the needs for the aircraft is, like fuel, crew, maintenance, anything. This is a lifeline for the aircraft. And the maintenance will need a very substantial package of gizmos. This includes new tools, new cranes, new pile of scrap. What I mean by a pile of scrap? Basically, I mean a pile of spare parts that have to sit in a room and cost a hell lot of money in the case they are needed, and they are mandatory. The airlines can't skip on it. They can't risk granting an aircraft that costs $200 million because a fuel valve that costs $2,000 or $3,000 have gone bad. Also, advanced system complexity needs more high-intensity specialist working hours. Normally, an electrician can assist an aircraft mechanic in fitting fuel lines and engine parts, but a mechanic can't assist an avionics expert in reprogramming a very advanced navigation system unit which has only one PC board. This leads us to the last deterring factor, the complexity. Having a fleet of several different types of aircraft is immensely expensive and very complex. Most airlines have to opt for one class or one family of aircraft for every type of operation. Let's say you need to contact commuter services. Then you opt for either a Bombardier Q series family aircraft or for an ATR family. Normally you don't mix both of them. The same goes for jet airliners. You opt for either Airbus or Boeing. You might mix some of them in the case of bigger airliners, but normally you don't see it unless the company has more than 10 or 20 aircraft. Commonality is always the target in aviation business. Crew must be flexible and proficient in any type of aircraft inside the fleet. Doesn't matter if it is a maintenance, it doesn't matter if it is a pilot, doesn't matter if it is an operations personnel. He must be proficient and well informed on every aspect of the aircraft. An unfamiliar crew is at least an inefficient crew and in extreme cases a dangerous crew. That's for now. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye bye. Hello again. If you liked this video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. But please leave me a comment so I can know what you think about this. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, you might want to click this link below, which will lead you in this channel's main page. There you will find all my releases, and you might want to subscribe so you can have a frequent update on my latest release. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.